Welcome back, everyone, to another cartoon conspiracy theory with your boy K-Mac Time, and this is a really cool one. Kind of shorter than I would like these theories to be, but I thought this was, interesting enough to bring to your guys' attention. I hope you guys enjoy this. Now, of course, we're talking about Rodger Rabbit, or Who Framed Rodger Rabbit, which is an animated movie. It came out in 1998. I remember watching this movie an awful lot as a kid, and I just remember the awkward child boners you would get from the animated character with the huge tits you see here. And there's actually a lot of sexual scenes in this movie that are very high tension, very high sexuality. I don't know if it would fly in today's society. Like I said, there's a lot of sex in this. But anyway, what the theory is that the entire movie is allegedly based on segregation and basically how back in the day, this is kind of like a flashback of how segregation was back in the day. Because again, the movie is set in 1947. Which was the height of the Jim Crow era, which mandated state and local laws prohibited whites and blacks from having same rights, same stuff. They couldn't be in the same places. They had different water fountains. All the kind of stuff you read about. The whole Rosa Parks thing. They're all terrible. It's all terrible kind of thing. That was what was going on back in the day, and that is when this movie is set. So it sets the scene. It sets the time period for this kind of theory perfectly. Now, the first point I want to make out is the villain who you're seeing on the screen right now. His name is Judge Doom. He wants to tear down the trolley system and force the Toons out of their homes in the movie so he could build a freeway for the wealthy humans. Now, this is exactly the kind of thing that was going on in Los Angeles in 1947. During the segregation, there was a huge to-do about how they wanted to tear down low-income housing to put in freeways for higher-income, wealthier people, which were obviously the Caucasians back in the day. But that is exactly what this is going along the lines with. Another thing to point out is that most of the cartoons in the show, which if you've never seen this movie, it's a movie about cartoons and humans interacting in real life. They're like, they're just saying they can see each other, there's whatever. If you've never seen the movie, please go watch it so this makes more sense to you. But anyway, getting back on point, the cartoons are always performers, which of course was one of the quote-unquote accepted occupations for black people back in the day. You didn't see many doctors or lawyers or, anything other than, handymen, or some of them were singers. Jazz musicians was big back then for African American people, and that is exactly what all of these Toons are. And they're actually all segregated again into quote-unquote Toontown, and they're not allowed into the actual city of Hollywood unless they are working. And like I said, they're only working underneath the acceptable occupation. So that being said, it is something I should point out that Judge Doom himself is a cartoon. You find out in the end that he looks like a human, but he's pretending to be a human. He actually is a cartoon. And this goes along with another thing of being an Uncle Tom, where a minority sells out his own race for his own personal benefit. Basically like what Samuel L. Jackson did in Django. This is exactly what he was doing in this movie. Another thing to point out is there's this weird kind of tension between Jessica Rabbit, who is that attractive cartoon with the giant boobs, and Eddie, who is the human detective. Eddie is clearly attracted despite his claims that he hates cartoons. This goes along with a lot of confusion, representative of the confusion of many white males who lusted towards black women despite seeing blacks as inferior back in that time period. They said all these things like, blacks were inferior, they were this, that, they were scum, all that kind of terrible stuff, but at the same time, they still found some of the black females to be attractive, and they were confused by this, and it was a very common thing practice back in the day to lust after black women. But one more thing I want to point out, this one's kind of, I don't know if there's too much to this, but they do use the word Toon as a slur in this entire movie. They're always like, oh, you're a Toon, you're not a human, you're a Toon. And if you think about it, you change that one T over to a C, and what you get coon, which is one of the all-time worst racial slurs for African Americans. So there's a lot of things to think about here. Could this, Rodger Rabbit have a lot of underlying themes about segregation? I personally believe it does. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. So make sure you guys leave a comment telling me what you guys think. Tell me if I missed anything. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. If we hit 500 likes on this video, I will go ahead and drop out next week's theory a day early for you guys. You guys have been killing it on that lately, so make sure you guys mash that button. Also, you guys are new around here. You guys can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And as always, guys, have a great day and game the fuck on. Peace out.